Think about gold. I mean, all that gold we have in Fort Knox.
Mhm.
It's not because the United States government is betting on how much jewelry is going to be sold at Christmas.
I hope not.
Right? I mean, there's no intrinsic value to gold other than we say there's intrinsic value to gold.
I see.
Gold is a store of value. And so people hope it goes up. There's some people who think that, if there's a catastrophe and the economy craters, then gold will retain its value. But it's not like you can walk around with a bar of gold and, like it's 1822 and you slice off a little sliver and you weigh it. Someone's just going to knock you out and take your bar of gold.
That's how I've been getting at the supermarket. I've been slicing my
Little
gold, getting my eggs.
A little schmeckle for you, a little schmeckle for you.
That's what I'm talking about.
So let me translate that to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay. Bitcoin has become a store of value. It's, marketed that way and has been marketed for the last, 15 years or whatever it is. And it's gotten to a point of acceptance, just like way, way, way back when gold got to a point of acceptance as an alternative for legal currency or as a foundation behind legal currency.
Mark Cuban wastes no time drawing a bold comparison. To him, Bitcoin isn't a speculative gamble, it's digital gold. The same way gold has been propped up for centuries by faith in its scarcity, Bitcoin has arrived at a similar cultural acceptance. But Cuban believes it has even greater utility, and in his view, it could eventually eclipse gold's role as the premier store of value.
I'm not going to carry around that bar of gold, but you can carry around, your phone as an example that has Bitcoin on it. And if you need to transfer value to somebody else, it's easier to do it right now, particularly if you're 21 with Bitcoin than it is with gold. So there truly is an economic value there.
Convenience matters. For Cuban, the ability to store and transfer wealth on a smartphone underscores why Bitcoin offers more than symbolism. Gold sits idle in vaults. Bitcoin moves at the speed of the internet. That fundamental difference, he argues, is what gives it the edge in a digital economy.
Just think of Bitcoin like digital gold, period, end of story.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
just built on supply and demand. Only the difference is people are still mining gold and it's physical. You have to pull it out of the ground. There's a lot of cost associated with that. Bitcoin is all digital, but it's limited in the number of Bitcoins that will ever be created to 21 million.
Scarcity is at the heart of Cuban's argument. With gold, miners can always dig more from the earth. But Bitcoin has a hard-coded ceiling of 21 million coins, a supply cap no government or corporation can inflate away. In Cuban's view, this makes Bitcoin not just digital gold, but superior gold.
So early on, you might have bought a bunch of Bitcoin in 2012 for 10 cents each, didn't think twice about it, threw away that phone and you had 10,000 Bitcoin on there.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, so there's stories about people literally who have put hard drives into trash heaps and lost it, and now we're searching in trash piles looking for it. So, but that's Bitcoin, and it's just supply and demand that defines what it's worth. So right now the price is near $100,000. That means a lot more people are buying it than selling it. Very analogous to gold.
Lost coins, rising demand, and prices approaching six figures. Cuban highlights how Bitcoin's scarcity amplifies its value. Unlike gold, where lost bars can eventually be replaced by mining, lost Bitcoin is gone forever. This, he believes, only strengthens the supply-demand dynamic that could propel it to multiples of its current value.
Ethereum is one that I also own a bunch of. And the difference with Ethereum is it really takes advantage of the blockchain, but it adds something called smart contracts. And what a smart contract is, it allows activity to be triggered by other activity. So for instance, I won't go into deep details, but if I want to create an NFT and use that for books, right? Just this, say for textbooks, right? That smart contract associated with that NFT has specific features about it. One of the unique features that are part of Ethereum and smart contracts and NFTs is they can pay royalties. So if John Stewart writes a book for a college, right, and it's a textbook on accounting, Right now, it's got to be physical, and then you go to the bookstore and you buy a used copy. But
Right.
for every used copy that's sold and resold,
Or an ebook that they would download or something along
right,
those
right. Well,
lines.
that's
Right.
the physical copies, you don't make another nickel in royalties as it's sold and resold.
Right.
If you do it as a digital version using Ethereum and a smart contract and an NFT, the royalties can be paid on and on and on and on again, as that digital textbook is resold.
While Cuban is bullish on Bitcoin as digital gold, he also sees a future in Ethereum's smart contracts. Here, he explains how blockchain could transform industries like publishing by ensuring creators receive royalties long after the first sale. But when it comes to pure value storage, Cuban still views Bitcoin as the king and gold as yesterday's standard.
The challenge for crypto right now, in all candor, it hasn't had its Instagram moment. If you remember going back to the original App Store in 2009, I think it was, there weren't a lot of people downloading apps for their smartphones. I mean, unless you were really geeky and into it. But then all of a sudden, Instagram came along, and grandma and grandpa and mom and dad needed it. Then Facebook had an app. And so that really got people into smartphones and using and downloading apps. We haven't had that moment with crypto yet. That's still something that has ultimate utility for everyone and anyone. That doesn't exist yet, and that's kind of the ongoing hope.
Cuban admits adoption isn't yet universal. Bitcoin may be accepted as digital gold by investors, but it hasn't yet had its Instagram moment, a breakout application that brings everyone on board. Still, he frames this as a question of when, not if.
So all these people trying to come up with apps that run on smart contracts on top of Ethereum, Solana, whatever it may be, whatever form of crypto it may be, Gary Gensler wanted to call all forms of that a security.
Right. He wanted to regulate it like you would regulate stocks for those
Right.
that are okay.
And in some cases, they were securities. If you're selling them to raise money for a business, that's a security. Nobody's arguing that. But if you happen to buy an NFT as a textbook, he wanted to call that a security as well. If you use your Solana or Matic or not Ethereum, but let's say Solana or Matic, two smaller cryptocurrencies, to purchase something online, he wanted to call that a security as well. And as a result, that sent a lot of developers who were trying to create these new smart contract apps out of the United States to other parts of the world, Singapore, Japan, Korea, you name it, to start companies that otherwise would have been in the United States.
Regulation, Cuban warns, has already pushed innovation overseas. By classifying crypto too broadly as securities, the US risks losing its role as a leader in the industry. Meanwhile, Bitcoin continues to operate globally, drawing users and investors alike into what Cuban insists could soon flip gold itself. Recapping, Mark Cuban argues that Bitcoin's fixed supply, digital convenience, and growing acceptance make it superior to gold. He acknowledges challenges, like the missing Instagram moment and regulatory hurdles, but believes the trajectory is clear. In his eyes, Bitcoin isn't just here to stay, it's destined to multiply in value and rival, if not surpass, gold as the ultimate store of wealth.
So just think of Bitcoin like digital gold, period, end of story.
So, what do you think? Will Bitcoin really 10x and flip gold? Or will gold remain the ultimate safe haven?